Arizona Cardinals, and tonight they host their longtime rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles, on ESPN Sunday Night Football. Are you ready for the football? Jake Plummer has done it before, lifting an Arizona football team out of the desert of despair. The local legend showed that promise a year ago, setting team and league records along the way. But in NFL 98, the Cards stand 0-2, and wiggle room is getting tight for the man they call the Snake.
We've got to start winning and believing in ourselves. Believe that we are a team that can go out and win 10, 11, 12 games each season and get into the playoffs, and that's where we got to start.
It's the Arizona Cardinals and the Philadelphia Eagles on ESPN Sunday Night Football. And the Cardinals, there'll be feathers flying. The stadium is rocking with all my rowdy friends. It's Sunday Night Football on ESPN. Let's launch this thing now. Welcome to the desert, Phoenix, Arizona, on a scorching late Sunday afternoon. And a few miles east, Tempe, where Sun Devil Stadium lives up to its name. Game time temperature is 100 degrees. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Joe Thiesmann and Paul Maguire. It's great to have you with us. The Philadelphia Eagles have literally limped through the beginning of this season. 6 starters have missed all or most of 2 games, and to no one's surprise, they're 0-2. But to add insult to injury, in 2 games, the offense has produced 1 touchdown and 12 points.
Well, Mike, I guess the best way you can describe this Eagle offense is it's a work in progress. And tonight what they're going to want to do is try and get Bobby Hoying in a rhythm early. They're going to go to 3-step drops and 5-step drops. They want to get the ball out of Bobby's hands as quickly as possible. Now think about this, Mike. The Philadelphia Eagles on the road have not won a game since 1996. They need this one tonight.
Well, they sure do, and the Cardinals feel exactly the same way. Like Philadelphia, they are 0-2. The only difference is expectations here, Paul, have been so great, and they haven't lived up to them yet.
Well, the expectations are for the quarterback, Jake the Snake Plummer. You know, and he had a tremendous college career here, and he had a pretty good year last year, and they would like to see some of that tonight. Remember, he's only starting his 12th game, Jake the Snake, and the hardest thing he has to do is to read blitzes. He's had a tough time with them, but Philadelphia's going to help him. Tonight, they're going to start 2 first-year corners. Jake should have a breakout night.
All right, Paul, and both defenses will heat things up tonight. Hugh Douglas for the Eagles. Eric Swan for the Cardinals. And we'll be back with the opening kickoff on ESPN's Sunday Night.
Thank you, Mike. The temperatures here on the field are a scorching 120 degrees now. The Eagles have been hydrating their players all week long in preparation for the heat. And the Cardinals, well, they've pretty much acclimated themselves to these temperatures. During their 10 years here in Arizona, they have yet to give one single player an IV as a result of heat-related illness. And guys, I need you to keep an eye on me. By the time this game is over, I may be the one needing the IV.
All right, Solomon, I hope you got that jacket handy when it cools off later. Ray Rhodes, in his 4th season, consensus coach of the year in his first year with Philadelphia, took him to 2 straight playoff appearances and then downhill last year. Vince Tobin trying to turn things around for a moribund franchise ever since they have moved to the desert. The Cardinals have won the toss. The Eagles will kick off. Chris Boniol has it teed up at the 30-yard line. He'll kick to Metcalf and Pittman. Metcalf, 21, the most successful return man in the history of the NFL. 11 career returns, 2 of them kickoffs. And wearing his dad's number 21. We're underway in the desert. Metcalf will take a knee 7 yards deep. For the Cardinals on offense, Jake Plummer, the local hero and the future of the franchise. His first 2 games this year, he's been blitzed off his feet. Excellent skill players. Morrell, the new running back. Center's a great receiver. Moore and Sanders both over 1,000 yards last year. The offensive line, awful a year ago, hasn't shown much more this year. The only new face, Lester Holmes, signed away from the Raiders. So Plummer starts at the 20, and they'll shift into the I. The deep man is Adrian Morrell. And Morrell will get the first carry. Makes something out of nothing to the 24. For that Eagles defense, the front 4 missing Mike Mamula to a season-ending injury, but the addition of Johnson and especially Douglas should have an impact. They're settled at linebacker. Thomas on the weak side, one of the best coverage men in the game. The secondary has been decimated by injuries. Rossum and Harris filling in for the injured Tony Vincent and Bobby Taylor. Morrell on the toss. Cuts it back and stopped at the 25. Hugh Douglas from his right end spot.
Wherever the Arizona Cardinals are going to go, it's going to be on the arm and the shoulders of Jake Plummer, their young quarterback. He's a guy now in a new system with Mark Thiesmann taking over as the offensive coordinator. And the thing that he has to learn to do is be a bit more patient in the pocket. He can't flush out as quickly as he has been.
4 yards or better on 3rd down. The Cardinals haven't made one yet. 0 for 17. Plummer would like to get him off on the right foot. And does. First down at the 32. Frank Sanders with his first catch, his 9th of the year. In his first 3 years as a Cardinal, 196 catches, the most by a Cardinal receiver in his first 3 years.
There's a reason this works. Lomas Brown, number 75, he's blocking on Hugh Douglas. Watch this. Lomas Brown to tackle. This any good? That's why this play works.
Jake does a nice job of hanging right dead in the middle. You see Sanders turn right in front of him and give him a good target.
Plummer, the short set, goes out to Centers. Really a fullback screen, and Centers to the 39-yard line where Allen Rossum, the rookie corner, made the tackle.
Larry Centers was the #1 concern of the Philadelphia Eagles on defense. When you talk to Ray Rhodes or Emmett Thomas, their defensive coordinator, the thing that they say is this guy has had good games against us. We realize that they want to try and get the ball in his hands. You see how many receptions he's had since 1993.
In 95, he had 101, an NFL record. Morrell on the toss, cuts it back, wrapped up and dropped by 57, James Darling.
Oh, Lomas Brown again on Hugh Douglas. I mean, he's the guy that's a tackle that's going to have to take Hugh Douglas to the outside. Watch the position that number 75, Lomas Brown, gets. Bam, he'll hit him here. Now watch him turn. Morrell goes back to the inside. The hole is there. That's beautiful.
Lomas Brown, the man they brought in 3 years ago, their most honored by far offensive lineman. 7 straight Pro Bowls in his career from 90 to 96. And it is a first down for the Cardinals. This is a good start for the offense.
It's a positive start, which is a good start for him considering where they've been the first 2 weeks, Mike. Mark Thiesmann, the offensive coordinator, really has a product like Joe Montana to work with in Jake Plummer.
He's their 3rd coordinator in as many seasons. Plummer on a little roll, throws in the flat. That's his tight end, Johnny McWilliams. Not much.
I think one thing should be understood here. We see the Cardinals go 2 first downs in a row. But in the first half of the first 2 ball games, they have not scored a point. So
that's a problem. I see where you're going with that point, Paul. I agree with you. That is a problem. Yep.
Plummer has hit his first 3. His mobility is what worries the Eagles. Morrell. The Eagles say they have it, but no official signal yet. Philadelphia football. The sure-handed Adrian Morrell coughs it up after a nice gain. James Darling stuck him and knocked it loose.
Number 57 is the linebacker, James Darling, and he is the guy that's going to cause this fumble. Watch Morrell. He's going through. He's got both hands on it, but Darling hits him, and his right arm just pulls the arms of Morrell down. The ball comes out. Zordich gets it. I said they haven't scored in the first half.
Yeah, you put the curse on them with that one.
Deuce Staley, the single setback behind Bobby Hoying. Staley will get the call. And he is wrapped up by Rice. For the Eagles offense, Bobby Hoying off to a rough start. No touchdown passes the first 2 games. He's been sacked 11 times. Staley gets to start at running back, his 3rd straight. Fryer at 36, the oldest receiver in the NFL, still has Pro Bowl skills. The offensive line has been a concern for years. Trey Thomas was drafted #1 to solve that problem at left tackle. Staley with running room this time. Into Cardinal territory, down to the 48. McKinnon on the stop. The Cardinal defense has a potentially dominant front 4. Wadsworth, the rookie, Swan, and Rice, all #1 draft choices. The linebacking improved a year ago as Miller came on in his 4th year, and McKinnon solidified things in the middle. A young athletic secondary stabilized by one of the game's best, Aeneas Williams, 38 interceptions in the 90s, #1 in the NFL. Here comes the blitz. Hoying in trouble, unloads incomplete. And that is the problem that both young quarterbacks have had early this season.
That's what you want to do. You want to go right up the middle. The shortest distance to the quarterback is right up the gut. Tony McCombs, number 50, comes untouched right up the middle.
And the Eagles waste a golden opportunity with a turnover near midfield. Metcalf with the 9 punt returns for a touchdown. And the Eagles' special teams have been horrid. They'll let this one bounce, and it goes out of bounds near the 20. A punt of only 28 yards. And the Cardinals will take over for their 2nd possession. We're in Tempe, 0-0. ESPN Sunday Night Football brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. By Toyota, everything belongs to you, make it count. By Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. By Microsoft, where do you want to go today? And by Quaker State, for protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. A tourist mecca in the southwestern United States. Just gorgeous scenery, especially if you have one of those.
Every now and then they bring in water. That actually comes from Colorado.
I know one thing you don't sell much of out here, and that's microwaves. You just take the food on the plate outside and stand there. Cardinals with their 2nd possession. They'll start at the 20. Plummer under pressure, dumps it for Centers. Nice move to get away, and Larry Centers turned a 2-yard loss into a 3-yard gain. The one problem that the Eagles have right now, they had excellent corners coming into the season, but both are hurt.
They are, Mike, and so they wind up starting 2 corners. You got Allen Rossum, number 25, the rookie out of Notre Dame, and Al Harris, who was with Tampa Bay and Wave, playing at the other side. They're not big, and they're inexperienced, which creates problems for Emmett Thomas, the defensive coordinator.
2nd down, Morrell on the draw. Gets maybe 1 to the 24. Vincent in street clothes. They expect him back. He's got a quad injury. The other corner, Bobby Taylor, has a fractured shoulder blade. Boy, does that sound painful.
Well, you know, Joe, you can get away if you lose 1 corner. But when you lose 2 outstanding corners, it really throws your defense away.
3rd and 6. Metcalf in as the 3rd wide receiver. Plummer almost picked off. In the middle of the field, tipped around.
There's a case of a young guy just picking out where he wants to go with the football. He sets and loads it. Look out to the right. 1, 2, 3. Little hesitation. That little hesitation allows the safety to jump up inside and knock the ball away.
Tim McTire got a hand on it. That's McTire, not McKire. And Rossum, the rookie, who had a great career returning kicks in college, is back from the 26. And got it back to the 33. Officially a 6-yard return after a punt of 49, and Patrick Samp, the former Clemson quarterback, down on special teams to make the tackle. Back to Tempe after this. Eagles with their second possession in an early scoreless tie. The one thing they have not done this year, Joe, protect Bobby Hoying. He's been sacked 11 times.
And it's so critical for this offense to create throwing lanes for Bobby Hoying. I'm going to show you on our ESPN free play what he's looking at. What's very important is that the center and the two guards are able to stay on the line of scrimmage and keep the penetration from getting to him. The tackle's responsibility is to run the outside rushers outside the cup. And as you see, it will create throwing lanes. One out to Fryer, one out to Graham. That's what this offensive line hopes to create for Bobby Hoying.
Going to throw on first down. Short set. Now he has to scramble. And gets about a yard on the scramble. You see that short set. He does have the presence of mind to get out of there when it's not there.
I'm going to show you. The offensive line did their job that time. Watch the lanes when he goes back to throw. As he comes back, he gets set, little quick fake as he sets and throws. Now, there's a lane out here and a lane out there. There's the lane you see. He decides to run through it instead of throw through it, but it's there.
Nice lane, nobody open.
Here comes the blitz. Deuce Staley cracks it to the 47-yard line. It's a first down. Pat Tillman made the tackle.
This is an example of the runner keeping his head up, Deuce Staley, on this run and going back away from the hole. The hole was between the right guard and the right tackle. But watch what Deuce Staley does. He doesn't go there. He comes back to the left side. See, the hole is over there on the right, supposedly on the right side. He doesn't see it, so he cuts back to the inside. Outstanding blocking.
Hoying throws and completes it down to the 44-yard line and got the ball to Jeff Graham. They picked him up in a trade from the Jets.
Tackle by number 22, Tom Knight. The wide receivers of the Philadelphia Eagles aren't built for speed. They're more possession-type receivers. Both Graham and Fryer, they're going to be able to operate in that 12 to 15-yard area very, very effectively. But to try and go down the field with them, they really can't outrun people anymore, especially Irvin. You can get everything else done, just can't run by people.
Went to the Pro Bowl last year, the only Eagle represented. That's Graham. Staley. Near the 40-yard line where Mark Smith made the tackle. We do expect to see Charlie Garner tonight. He has had one rush and 2 pass receptions in 2 games. Been bothered by an ankle injury, and there were some things in the paper quoting he and his agent saying he wanted out of Philadelphia. Ray Rhodes says that's all been smoothed over. He just wasn't ready to play, and he was trying to protect him.
Isn't it amazing the difference you get from what an agent says and what a player says? It's strange, isn't it?
Staley comes in 9th in the NFC in rushing. He's done a good job. They'll split time tonight. Hoying to Staley in the flat. Wrapped up at the 37. Good, solid tackle by Tony McCombs, who's playing with a very sore clavicle.
Well, we've got another tackle. Trey Thomas, who is the #1 draft choice, number 72. Simeon Rice, he's blocking on him. Look at here. I'm going to tell you, that is outstanding footwork. You see him just stay in front of him, Joe. He never let him get off the line of scrimmage.
Did you see how big he was last night when he walked into the room?
Yeah, I brought up a little ladder to get up to shake.
Just to shake his hand.
What
He
a
blocked
huge
out the
man.
light. That's Jimmy Johnson, the injured Eagles tight end. 10-year veteran out of Howard University, shaken up on the last play. There's Thomas, 6'7", 349. What a future he has. Headshots provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam high above Sun Devil Stadium for ESPN Sunday Night Football. 6:21 to go first quarter. We are scoreless, and Jimmy Johnson very slowly going to the Eagles sideline. Jason Dunn, who was going to split time with him tonight, coming back from an injury of his own, is in there now. Staley trying to get it on the ground, and he is wrapped up by McKinnon and Bennett.
Mike, when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles on offense, what they're doing is they're setting a tight end to the left side next to Trey Thomas. This is a terrific move by Dana Bible, their offensive coordinator. You don't want to leave him there alone on Simeon Rice. So what you do is you run the ball with the tight end there, so if he protects, he also has a little bit of a security blanket outside. It's good offensive philosophy.
Cardinals show blitz. They come with it, and Hoying throws behind the intended receiver, Russell Copeland. J.B. Brown on the coverage.
Well, if he throws this ball on target, it's either going to be knocked down or intercepted.
What's going through Bobby Hoying's mind is, I've got to throw the quick post because everybody's up at the line of scrimmage. They take one step and jump out to right where the quick post should be, and you see the corners jump the quick post. Good defense.
So the Eagles, who have had incredible field position, will have to punt again. They've been squandering opportunities. Trying to kill it inside the 5, and they do. Love is down to get it at the 1 after a 35-yard punt, and Tom Hutton did his job. The Cardinals will start in a deep, deep hole. And in a game like this, field position may make the difference. The desert outside of Phoenix, Arizona, where we have spent our week of preparation for the Eagles and the Cardinals. We're at Sun Devil Stadium, and certainly lives up to its name. 100 degrees at kickoff. Cardinals with the ball inside their own 1. This is not good territory for the Cardinals right now, Jim.
Well, if you think about last week when Jake Plummer threw an interception coming out against Seattle, it's not. But he has to be very careful where he throws the football. He's got to see everybody down here.
New pair of running backs, too. Pittman is the tailback, the rookie. And Pittman will get the football and struggles out about a yard. Hollis Thomas, a very good run stopper, made the tackle.
The nice part about being down here, Joe, is you have the whole field to work with. You know what I mean?
You know, it's funny. I know you say that with tongue-in-cheek, but the truth is,
you do.
I think that it's the most difficult spot for a defense to defend because they do have the whole field to worry about. You know, you hang one up with these pass interference rules today, you could wind up getting out of a hole easy.
2nd and 9. Pittman again to the 3, just trying to get some running room. Zordich and Willis were in on the stop.
Well, when you look at with Arizona, people saying, well, why aren't they at least trying one pass or throw it? You've got a young offensive line, and you've got some people that haven't been there before, and really a lot of these guys don't know what the other guy's doing.
Well, let me spin it forward a little bit for Vince Tobin for you, too. You want to create some room so if you have to punt, the punter's not backed up on the back of the goal end zone.
Morrell and Centers are back in on 3rd and long. Plummer from his end zone to Centers. What a play by Harris. Claimed off of waivers from Tampa Bay. They had seen him last year and liked him. Great recognition and a solid tackle.
Well, it really is, because what Harris does, he is downfield covering on Frank Sanders. And he's going to leave him. On the right of your screen, folks, you watch him leave. He'll leave his man right there and come up and make an open field tackle. That's sensational.
So Scott Player, who was questionable this week after an injured calf, comes into punt. A high floater. Rossum signals fair catch and takes it at the 46. For the 3rd time in as many possessions, the Eagles will have excellent field position. There is a marker down, however, at the Cardinal 45. We'll check the penalty.
Well, if that's a result of a pulled calf muscle, he should pull it every week. That was a great punt.
And this will back the Eagles up.
Well, the kick was in the air, holding 24, the receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of possession change. Timeout.
Tim McTire caught holding, and that will back the Eagles up. Still 0-0, first quarter. 0-0, Eagles and Cardinals, first quarter, 3:26 to go, and the Eagles will take over from their own 36-yard line. Tough hair day in the desert. Hoying with a short set and throws this one complete to Graham at the 46. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with an AFC Central battle as Neil O'Donnell and the Cincinnati Bengals meet up with Ray Lewis and that great young linebacking core of the Baltimore Ravens. Join Joe Thiesmann, Paul Maguire, and me for all the action right after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for prime time NFL football. Hoying, now they messed that one up, and Charlie Garner will get about a yard. Garner was running away from Hoying.
I'll tell you why they messed it up. Bobby Hoying and Charlie Garner have not had a chance to practice together, and that's the result of not being able to practice. Obviously, Ray Rhodes wants to get Garner on the field. Watch this. It's supposed to be a handoff. Charlie thinks it's a pitch. This is what happens when you don't get a chance to practice with people. Everybody talks about being hurt in games. That isn't the thing. Not being able to practice is where the problem is.
Here come the Cardinals on the blitz. Draw to Garner. Just tripped up as he got to the 49-yard line. Jameer Miller got a piece of him.
Oh, Tony McComb should have had him in the backfield for a loss. Number 50. He's the linebacker coming up right in the hole, and he runs by it. You've got to come under control when you're blitzing up the middle. See Garner, number 30, and watch coming up into the hole. See number 50 right there, McComb. He runs by him. He has him in the backfield for a loss.
3rd and 8. Somebody moved early, and it may have been the big rookie, Trey Thomas.
Prior to the snap, false start. 72 offense. 5 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
If I'm Dave McGinnis, the defensive coordinator of the Arizona Cardinals now, I don't give Bobby Hoying that same look. It's 3rd and 15. If they were going to play zone, I change it up right now, and I go after him.
Well, that's your favorite anyway on 3rd and long, right? Make him throw it short.
Well, that's the only way that a defense can dictate to a quarterback where he wants him to throw the football.
3rd and 13. Straight 4-man rush. Hoying with a lot of time and throws complete. That'll be a first down at the 36-yard line. Russell Copeland. He's made 2 catches in this game, both the first 2 this year for him.
That's why, Mike, I think making the quarterback get rid of the football sooner than he wants is key. Watch everybody go into zones here. Everybody drops back. All of a sudden now, Bobby Hoying feels comfortable in the pocket. Arizona just rushes 4. It's a good catch, but the receiver has a chance to make a play on the ball.
Keep in mind, after that horrible opener that Bobby Hoying had, he was 24 of 35 against Atlanta. He played much better, up to the level that he played a year ago when he caused so much excitement in Philadelphia. Now they'll have to use the timeout as the play clock winding down. First they were chasing history, now they're making it. Mark Maguire and the Cardinals against the Astros. For those of you in Houston, St. Louis, and New York, you'll see Sammy Sosa and the Cubs against the Brewers. Did you catch Maguire's 65th and almost 66th today? It was.
I know.
66.
That's such a tough call to make, the interference call. Boy, when he hits it, and you know it, right away, poof, gone. Sammy's the same way.
It's been a remarkable year just watching those guys battle back and forth. Eagles with another good penetration. They still haven't scored out of it. Hoying under pressure. And Dunn wide open, couldn't hold it. The tight end, Jason Dunn, who's been out with a knee injury and a bone bruise, wide open on the little boot and couldn't hold it.
Well, you got to apologize to Bobby Hoying because it's his birthday. First of all, you should catch the ball on the guy's birthday and watch Dunn come out here. The linebackers in the corner blitz, they come up. He slips to the outside. There's absolutely no one there, and that's what you call, Joseph, fighting the football.
Yeah, and the football won. Yeah, that's the problem.
Dunn expected to be used a lot more this year as they changed offensive coordinators to Dana Bible. Here comes the blitz. Hoying stands in and throws over the middle. Complete down to the 29 again. Russell Copeland, who has become Bobby Hoying's favorite target. Tommy Bennett made the tackle.
Number 28, Tommy Bennett.
That should be the last play of the first quarter as the Eagles move on the Cardinals. So far, both teams seem to be very conservative, trying to protect their young quarterbacks from all the sacks that they have endured through the first 2 losses for each. End of the quarter, 0-0. Talked about the expectations for Jake Plummer to lead the Cardinals out of the wilderness, but what about that defensive line? Wadsworth, a rookie first-round draft choice. Swan, a first-round draft choice. Simeon Rice, a first-round draft choice. They should be getting more production out of these guys.
Well, not out of Wadsworth yet, because this is like the third week of training camp for him. He's just learning to play football. Eric Swan, I think, if he decides he wants to get mad at the world, can take over a football game.
And there's one other guy that you guys don't mention very much. Not many people do. Mark Smith, who is number 93, is having a terrific year.
Leading the down line in tackles. Hoying swings it out in the flat to Staley. Nice move to get away. Deuce Staley squirming, trying to get a first down. It looks like he's about a yard shy. McCombs missed the tackle, had him dead to rights in the flat.
Paul, you brought it up before. When McCombs came around on that blitz, he ran by Charlie Garner. This time he overruns the swing pass. He's just going with too fast a motor right now. Has to slow down and make plays.
Exactly. You have to get yourself, especially in the open field, you have to get yourself in a football position. We saw that happen with Al Harris when he made a tackle.
The Eagles disdain the field goal. They will go for it on 4th and a yard. Deuce Staley dives. I don't know. It appears they are marking him short, and Eric Swan was the guy he dove into.
He has to get inside the 26-yard line, and he did not do that. You can go up in the air all you want when you go straight up, but you have to go forward with the ball. If that ball is not inside the 26-yard line, they don't have it. And I don't think it is. They didn't make this. And, I mean, they didn't make it by a lot. It's going to be almost a whole yard.
It would have been a 44-yard field goal attempt by Boniol. Not even close.
No.
Those are some of the expectations that you have for the Arizona Cardinal defense. But the guy that really does this is Eric Swan. We talked about him. He's number 98. He's right inside. He's going to take and fire. You watch how he creates penetration. He's down low. Look at that. Look at him go up. He just doesn't give a chance. And then he catches him with his forearm.
You know, I'll tell you, even Wadsworth, the rookie, he gets in there. They get the linemen straightened up in the air, and when the offensive linemen are sitting back on their heels, there's just no place to get any push.
Now, if you're Arizona on offense, you've got to attack Philadelphia's defense. You've just gotten a big emotional rush. You've got to take advantage of it.
And the Eagles have squandered early opportunities. Let's see if the Cardinals can counter. Plummer dives to the 30.
Jake Plummer is really making decisions with the football, only using one half the field. Watch where he's looking. The first throw is out to the right. You see him looking to the right. Winds up throwing on the right hash. Next one, out to the right again. Tries to throw the quick post. The next one, a swing pass to Larry Centers. Out to the right. He's going to have to use more of the football field.
Plummer under pressure. He'll go down at the 29. Is that a comfort zone for him, Joe? Is that what he feels like he can do right now?
No, Mike, what it is, it's making predetermined decisions on where you want to go with the football. Also, part of it is the West Coast offense. The way this offense is set up, you look to one side where you've got a hook, a swing, and maybe somebody in the flat. So part of it might be the construction of Trestman's offense. The other part of it has to be Jake wants to go that way.
3rd and long. Plummer goes to the shotgun. This is where he can be very dangerous. Here comes the blitz. He unloads, and Metcalf is drilled by Al Harris. What a hit by Harris. And in the long run, the Eagles, even when they get these 2 great corners back, have found a 3rd guy that can play.
Al Harris, you want to talk about timing a play absolutely perfectly? Watch Harris on Metcalf. Ball, player. That's separation, not the kind you want.
That's defense.
That's right.
Rossum drops to his 25. Waving his teammates away on the short kick. Goes out of bounds near the 40-yard line. And once again, the Eagles will be in terrific shape after a punt of only 29 yards. Still, it's scoreless in the desert. Brought to you by Gateway. Let's talk about your Gateway. By Northwestern Mutual Life. Have you heard from the Quiet Company? By Bud Light. If you want a great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. And by Mercedes-Benz. Welcome back to Phoenix. 0-0 Eagles and the Cardinals. 12:52 to go in the first half. People have been asking for years, where are all the good young quarterbacks? Well, Hoying and Plummer certainly qualify as that. But remember, they're young. That's the key.
Well, also, too, is both coordinators are protecting them. They're not making them hold the ball long. They're making them get it out quick.
I think you got 0-2 teams, Michael. Let them play. Let them play. Both of them can throw the football. Let them get out there and throw it.
That's easy for you to say.
I know,
You're up here.
I would let them throw a little bit. Let them call some things.
Well, we have seen the struggles of Leaf and Manning. Same thing going on here, even though these guys have a little bit more experience. Deuce Staley caught in the backfield and wrapped up by Simeon Rice. When you take a look at the youth of quarterbacks in this league, 25 and under. Look at the interception ratio. Look at their rating and their record compared to quarterbacks over 25. This certainly, it may be a shock to some casual fans, but it shouldn't surprise people in the NFL. That's what youth does to you. Hoying throws. Graham makes the short gain up to the 46.
Also makes you appreciate how tough it is to play that position.
Joe, look at Wadsworth's position. Wadsworth is in like a three-point stance with his head down. And watch when he goes by Cooper the tackle. Watch what happens to him. He's down. He goes down. He just pushes him down. He's already down on the ground.
See, I don't think he has his playing balance. I don't think he has his playing strength. I don't think he has his playing legs. I think we're looking at a guy still going through training camp.
Well, he admitted the timing is off. Everything's off. He knows the plays because they let him take the playbook home with him even before he signed. Hoying short set under pressure, and Simeon Rice with his first sack since November of '96. But hold the phone, there's a marker down.
There's going to be offsides against the Arizona Cardinals.
If it is, there goes the sack. And it'll be worse if it's Simeon Rice.
Defense, 97, lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards, repeat third down.
That's why he got
Guess
there.
who?
Well, they did finally what you said to do on third down. Send the people. Don't give him time, Hoying, to sit there and throw it. Simeon Rice. Now, you talk about getting low to the ground. He was offside. He was lined up offside. There's just no chance at all for Trey Thomas to block him.
Third and a yard after the penalty. Fumble. Loose ball. It looks like the Eagles got it back, and if they did, it will be a first down. Deuce Staley going into that hole very tentatively, the same way he did on the last short yardage situation.
Well, we saw Adrian Morrell fumble. Eagles wind up with it. Now all of a sudden Staley fumbles. He winds up getting his own back. And it's really a question of, I think you're right, Mike. These backs are running tentatively and they're protecting the ball, but they're more concerned about protecting the ball than just running. Hey, you're a running back. Run.
Break for the Eagles. They're in Cardinal territory. They'll blow the play dead with 10:42 to go in the half.
Miller, the linebacker, is walking off. They call timeout for him.
Here's a kid who really came on last year, matured, developed, and Patrick Sapp, who they picked up in a trade from San Diego, will come onto the field to take his place. Going on first down, Deuce Staley diving forward to the 44, maybe the 43. McKinnon and McCombs got it.
You know something, Joe? When we talked about this defensive lineman, Wadsworth, Swan, Smith, and Rice, when these guys gel, when they put it all together and get some experience, they are really going to be something.
You know, the problem is it happens so often, Paul. Hopefully, Joe Green will still be here. Vince Tobin will still be here to enjoy the fruits of getting these young guys.
Good point. 2nd and 6. Hoying with a short set over the middle. He's got the completion down to the 42 to Dunn, the tight end. Close to another first down.
You know, the only problem I have with these type of offenses is you have to execute so perfectly all the time. Because if you make a mistake, you wind up setting yourself back.
Watch Beckel 62, Cooper 77 blocking on this side of the line of scrimmage to give Hoying time. There it is. I mean, when they set up like that and block, then the quarterback has got to love it. Then you create a lane.
They're working on the hand or wrist of Jameer Miller. Hoying with a pump. Now he wants to go deep and overthrows Graham. Tom Knight with good coverage.
That's a good call, too, by Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator. You've been throwing short. You've been throwing short. Now you run the little quick hitch and go. Watch what Graham does. Go down, little quick post, go. Get Knight turned. Ball's well overthrown. Thrown properly to the outside, but a little bit too far outside.
You know, you only get so many opportunities. The numbers on Hoying, you see. And the Eagles have squandered great field position so far. Let's see if they can capitalize. Hoying in trouble, and he goes down. Rice got that sack.
Michael, I'll tell you what, you talk about determination. They've been talking about Simeon Rice not doing anything since last year, and he needs to come into his own. You talk about penetration and staying with his man. Here's a guy that never stopped. He was blocked, kept right on coming, and then he gets to the quarterback. Here it comes. Watch Simeon Rice. He's blocked at the line of scrimmage. That's excellent blocking there. But watch what he does, the determination. He keeps coming and coming, makes the play.
His first sack in 10 games. As a rookie, he equaled the sack record for rookies with 12 and a half. Here comes the blitz. Wadsworth after Hoying throws on the run, intended for Fryer, incomplete.
Every time it's 3rd and 12, 13, 14, if I'm the Arizona Cardinals, I'm going after Bobby Hoying. I can't believe, I wouldn't believe the rest of this game that they would drop back in any kind of coverage. Ray Rhodes has got to get him set and getting rid of the football in a hurry.
Metcalf drops back to his 10 for Hutton's punt. Just tries to hang it up in the air and let his teammates run under it, and Metcalf will make a fair catch at the 15-yard line. 29 on the punt, but no return, and they pin the Cardinals deep in their territory again. They'll start at their 15 when we come back. They're free, and you get to bring your own tub.
Isn't that terrific?
Although they could have bought a ticket. There's 36,000 available tonight.
Paul would be right next to
The boys are up there.
Adrian Morrell trying to get something started for the Cardinals. Gets it out to the 19-yard line. ESPN and ESPN2, your home for college football. It begins every Saturday, 11 a.m. with College Game Day. This week at noon, Northwestern takes on Wisconsin. Then at 7, Georgia Tech against North Carolina. Over on the Deuce at noon, Pittsburgh against Virginia Tech. And at 6, Alabama and Arkansas. Your Saturday college football lineup. Plummer with a short set again to the right. This one intended for Rob Moore. The crowd wanted a flag. They won't get it.
They wanted a flag on Allen Rossum for pushing. Now, Rob Moore thinks he's pushed before the ball gets there. And I'll let Joe call this because he's a Notre Damer.
Well, it's a Notre Damer doing a good job. Remember,
that's
5 yards. 5 yards, you can bump somebody. That's a quick post. Hey, he's a rookie. 5 yards. He can count to 5.
He'll let him get it 15.
Oh, please.
Here comes the blitz. Plummer unloads and dropped by Chris Gedney, the tight end. Although in his defense, that ball got there in a hurry from Plummer.
Yeah, well, also, Chris Gedney heard some people coming.
Well, the thing is, Jake Plummer has a read. If you get a blitz like they did come, you're supposed to go hot to the tight end. He wound up getting sacked a week ago in Seattle because he didn't take the hot on a blitz. So, although it wasn't a completion, it's progress in the read for a quarterback.
Plummer started 4 for 4. He's missed 4 of the last 5, however. Another short punt. They'll let it go again. Gets a good roll for the Cardinals and out of bounds at the 32-yard line. A punt of 49. We are still scoreless in the desert. The Cardinals and the Eagles. Bill Bidwell, the Cardinals owner who brought this franchise to the desert a decade ago and still looking for a winning ball club. Right now his team on defense, Charlie Garner in for the Eagles as they start just outside their own 31. Hoying with a short set, now a scramble. And Hoying dives out to the 38-yard line. Eric Swan, the man who got a piece of it.
The #1 draft choice, again, number 90. Andre Wadsworth. Here's on Cooper, number 77, and he gets bumped by Turner. But look at this. He sees the play going. He sees Hoying going back inside. He tries to get there. Swan makes the play. But I love the way these guys hustle on both defenses.
The name of the game has been defense. Garner to the 39. That'll bring up 3rd and about 3. Trey Thomas, of course, at Florida State, has faced some of the best pass rushing defensive ends that the NFL now has, because he played against all these guys, played against Wadsworth every day. They share information, of course, played against Peter Boulware. And that'll get you ready for the NFL when you're playing against #1 draft choices every day. And Hoying will use a timeout. Less than 150 yards in total offense for both teams combined in the first half so far. These overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam high above Sun Devil Stadium for ESPN Sunday Night Football. That is Camelback Mountain.
Which one?
The one in the back.
The big one. Hoying changing the play on 3rd and 3. Garner, his running back. Here's the blitz. Hoying throws, and for the 4th time tonight hits Russell Copeland. That'll be a first down. Now that was an excellent reaction to what he saw.
Well, what happens is he audibilized at the line of scrimmage. You see him come away from the center and swing his hand to the right. Those are just quick hitches. When the corners are off, you're guaranteeing yourself 5 yards. It's a pitch and catch. Quick set, 1, 2, 3, get the ball out. Expect the receiver to make a play on the ball.
Garner has the speed to get outside, but can't turn the corner against Tony McCombs. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcots. Solomon.
Yeah, my Cardinals linebacker Jameer Miller has a possible dislocation of the left wrist. He has been taken in for x-rays, and we'll give you more information as it is made available. Mike?
All right, Solomon, glad to see you're still able to stand up and take nourishment.
He's doing a good job. You know, the one thing, I was watching Philadelphia. Why would you even think about trying to run wide against this team with all the speed that the Arizona Cardinals have?
Because you can't run inside.
No, then throw.
Charlie Garner, 4 carries, 4 yards. He'll try it again. Make it 5 carries, 4 yards. Mark Smith.
Is that inside thing you just talked about?
I just told you. They listen to you again. You're so good. You know, don't run outside, they run inside.
There's Jameer Miller back out of the locker room. Young man who said he was not serious about football, took everything as a joke, and he saw his young son and decided he had to be the man he always wanted to be.
Mike, until a young quarterback, till any quarterback can beat you throwing the football against the blitz, you have to continue to go after him.
Well, they're loading up. They drop out of it, though. Hoying on 3rd and 9, throws on the run, incomplete, intended for Freddie Solomon. Good coverage by the rookie Pat Tillman.
There's 2 things about blitzes. You can bring pressure and get to the quarterback. You can see everybody coming here. Or you can bring pressure it winds up getting blocked, and you still have that quarterback uncomfortable. You see how he's moving around? He's out of a comfort zone, and that ball wasn't even close.
It's the first time the Eagles have not crossed to 50. Metcalf, a little late in deciding, almost went for it. There's a marker down as he was bumped, and the ball down at the 9. A 44-yard punt.
This may be an improper fair catch signal because at the last minute, Metcalf decided to put his hand up, then walked away from the ball. You've got to give him room to catch the ball, but he never put his hand up for a fair catch.
And if they rule it was a proper fair catch, then he was signal he was interfered with.
And he's interfered with. Now here's Metcalf. Watch him. He's looking down. He's looking up at the ball. Now watch. See that? That's not a fair catch.
No, that's not a legitimate fair catch signal.
And that ball didn't even hit anywhere near Metcalf.
See, he actually makes a good decision to get away from the football. There's no signal whatsoever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But, I mean, he almost put his right arm up. But the thing about it is...
Multiple fouls. Illegal hands. 89 of the kicking team. That penalty is declined. Fair catch interference on the kicking team. That penalty is accepted. Half the distance to the goal. First down. Arizona.
That's a bad...
Where's the fair catch signal?
Well, they can't penalize him half the distance to the goal. It's got to go the other way.
And no,
and it's a terrible call.
Watch his right hand. This is where the fair catch signal would come from. Watch how this half attempt. Not here. Not yet. Not yet. Now, look at this. That you've got to get it up above your head, so there was no fair catch signal.
That's why it's a bad call.
The other call is okay. Hands to the face. That's fine.
So Arizona will start outside its own 20 at the 22. Plummer under pressure and goes down back to the 19. Another sack for the Eagles. Greg Jefferson came in from his left end spot.
What a terrific job by the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles. Emmett Thomas has got Jake Plummer completely confused. There's Al Harris, number 31. He's all over Sanders. Rob Moore coming across underneath. He looks like he's open, but believe me, there are people real close. There they are.
Holmes, the right guard, obtained from the Raiders as unrestricted free agent, is the injured player. He was originally a first-round draft choice of the Eagles, and Jameer Miller going back off toward the locker room.
Lester Holmes, number 71. Watch him they just roll up on him. He's standing around, and look at that knee. Go inside.
Those offensive linemen can really be defenseless.
See, they can, but I also think that if you want to make something mandatory in the National Football League, you make all 5 offensive linemen wear some type of knee protective devices on the outside of their legs. It doesn't inhibit them from being able to run, but it adds a little bit of extra protection. That might be the case.
The knee doesn't bend that way, does it, Joe?
I know. The leg doesn't go that way either.
But they don't go that
yours
way.
did.
Yeah, but you don't get to use it again after it does.
That's right. 2nd and 13 after the sack. Jerome Daniels will take over at right guard for a line that has already faced its share of problems. 3-man rush this time. Plummer with time and throws wide of Moore. The closest Eagle to it was the safety Brian Dawkins, so they're mixing it up.
Brian Dawkins is going to be a star for this Eagle defense. He is the guy back there that has to hold this thing together. I was talking to Ray Rhodes on the field before the game, and he says, keep an eye on Brian Dawkins. He's the guy that's got to make it for us. You see him back there. He keeps an eye on Jake. He was going to break on the ball if it was anywhere near the receiver.
And really, when you look at a replay, that wasn't a bad throw. Moore slipped down. Otherwise, he could have made the cut back outside. 3rd and long. Here comes the blitz. Plummer unloads and tipped away. At the last moment, Mike Caldwell got a hand on it. There's a marker down. That's going to be roughing the quarterback, I believe. James Darling, the left linebacker.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. 57 defense, tackle the quarterback around the neck. 15 yards, first down.
You know, when you look at this, Joe, why would you even think about doing something? Your defense is holding everybody to nothing, and then go in and catch him around the neck.
See, I got to be honest with you. I don't agree with the call. I think that there are certain hits that quarterbacks take that are a part of the game of football. There was nothing malicious in it. It wasn't around his head.
No, it was not a blow to the head.
It wasn't a blow to the head. I mean, to me, you got to let a guy stand there. Come on. Let them be football players.
He hit him in the head.
No, he didn't.
Plummer to throw. Goes out in the flat to Centers. Great receiver. Centers shakes one tackle, can't shake a second. Out of bounds to the 37-yard line, William Thomas.
Look at where his left arm is, and it's towards the face and his head.
No, you said he hit him in the head. Let's watch. Where is it?
Now, towards doesn't count.
It's not. Yeah, but he doesn't run into him very hard. That's my point.
Well, they're trying to find ways to protect the quarterback,
which is fine.
And I don't know how they're going to do that.
Plummer buried again. And that one's got to be on Jake Plummer. One of the knocks on him is holding the ball too long. And, Joe, you know you've got to have that mental clock in your head. If nobody's open, you got to get rid of it.
Well, Mike, not only do you have to get rid of it, it's 1, 2, 3, get out of there. Because you're attracting a lot of people. You got to get out of there.
Now they're going hurry up, and they're going from the line of scrimmage.
The third sack for the Eagles. Seattle got him 7 times. Centers in the flat. Great move to get away. Larry Centers to the 42-yard line. Needed to reach the 44 for the first down. Brandon Whiting chased him down.
Punting is on. Need I remind you at this point in time that the Arizona Cardinals have not scored in the first half in 2 games. And it looks like, from right here, if they're going to punt, they may not in their third.
Well, the Cardinals are averaging 12 points a game. That sounds awful until you see the Eagles average, which is 6 points a game. Right now, I think they both die for 6. Rossum again, a short punt, and this one touched by the Cardinals out at the 33. A 23-yard punt, and the Bluebirds are out. Monday Night Countdown to ABC, your exclusive networks for prime time NFL football. The Eagles take over with 2:05 on the first half clock. Another blitz. Pulling to Staley. Nice catch. And got out of bounds at the 35.
Let me say one thing. When Player, the punter, has had 3 bad punts and are booing him, he pulled a calf muscle during the course of the week. They brought in 3 other punters, and they took a look at him. And the reason they didn't put somebody on the list, they felt he can get through this game. They don't need to make a player move. And if they do that, they got to put him down and add someone to the dish, to the team.
The Cardinals offense trying to get something started. Neither offense has gotten anything started so far. 2 minutes to go, first half. We're in the desert where the Eagles and the Cardinals are deadlocked. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Thank you, Mike. The x-rays of Jameer Miller's left wrist has revealed a dislocation. Now, he wanted to go back into the game, but they have pulled him out, and he is now being taken to the Good Samaritan Medical Center. Mike?
All right, Solomon, thanks very much. And that's a big loss for the Cardinal defense. A young man who really came on a year ago. Deuce Staley is the running back for Horn. Good protection this time, and dumps it to Turner right through his hands. And it always seems when your quarterback and your offensive line are struggling, when they do their job, somebody else messes it up.
That's why you're not a good football team. That's one of the frustrations that Ray Rhodes is going through. And you wouldn't expect that from Kevin Turner. They're probably their best overall player besides Irving Fryer on offense.
Turner, a tremendous receiver, great blocker. 3rd and long. 4-man rush. Pulling the time, throws off his back foot. Is it a catch at the 49? No. They're saying Solomon caught her on the short hop. Hoying will protest, so will Solomon. But a 3 and out for the Eagles with 1:50 to go in the half.
Bobby Hoying steps up. You decide, is it a catch? Is it a non-catch? Hard to tell. The official from the right called it. He had a better view.
Hutton to punt to Metcalf. You don't think special teams could decide this? Beautiful kick this time. Metcalf at the 15. Got back to the 23 and no more. Al Wallace downfield with a solid tackle. Coming up on the Mercedes-Benz halftime report, Chris Berman with the fastest 3 minutes in television. We'll see Mark Maguire robbed, you bet he was, and Cal Ripken out of the lineup. He had started 2,632 straight for the Ironman. Wow.
You haven't done anything in 28.5 minutes, Joe. You got a minute 39. What do you do?
I think you let your quarterback go out and be natural like he did in college. Let him run around and make plays.
They have all 3 timeouts as well. Metcalf, oh, beautiful play again by Al Harris, who has been nothing short of sensational, filling in for the injured Bobby Taylor.
There's a situation, I think, of Jake the Snake Plummer. If he just throws it out and lets Metcalf go after underneath it or after it, it'd have been fine. But what he does here, he just lobs it up in the air. Look at this. Harris gets to the ball. Get it out in front.
2nd and 10. Plummer, short set, throws to the flat, incomplete. And now the Cardinals are in danger if they don't convert a 3rd down of giving the ball back to the Eagles with plenty of time to go.
Again, because you have 2 young quarterbacks in this game, we've seen what the Cardinals wanted to do against Bobby Hoying, put pressure on him in 3rd and long. I think that Emmett Thomas has got to do the same thing with Jake Plummer. Go after him. He hasn't proven he can beat a blitz yet.
We certainly haven't seen many draws or screens to counter it. Plummer out of the shotgun. Rifles this one, almost picked off. Brian Dawkins nearly made a sensational catch.
If Jake Plummer throws the ball correctly, it's an interception. There's a case where a bad throw saves him. Brian Dawkins is just honed in on Jake Plummer. He sees Plummer. He's off to the right. Plummer looks right. Dawkins is sitting there. He waits. Brian actually overruns the throw.
He did. He overran it where he had it.
Rossum now will get a chance to do something on a punt return. Signaling fair catch. Can't get there. Another poor kick down near midfield. Only 26. And the fans really coming after Scott Player. As you said, Paul, he was injured during the week. It's tough to blame him. For up-to-date scores, stats, and analysis on all the NFL action, log on to ESPN.com. And for all the latest news and notes from around the league, log on to NFL.com. Please check out video highlights of today's action. They'll be available at the completion of tonight's game only on NFL.com.
Mike, I believe in this series that the Eagles will try a big play downfield, hoping possibly for an interference call or trying to get something big down the field.
Point short set, throws, and dropped by Jeff Graham.
You know, all these receivers are trying to catch the football with 5 defenders around them all the time. Get the ball down the field. Let him get out in space a little bit.
Eric Swan, number 98. You think he doesn't get some heat? Look at this guy. Here goes Swan. Inside, outside, he's on Hoying that fast. That's why you have to throw the ball that soon.
This is very reminiscent of what we saw a week ago with Peyton Manning. Hoying, too long, and this one's picked off. Intercepted by Kwame Lassiter. Well, this has just turned ugly.
There was the throw down the field. They tried to get it to the tight end.
The reason that Bobby Lassiter's down is because when he caught the ball, he landed on the ball, he knocked the wind out of himself. He would have had time to get back up, and he couldn't. Lassiter just makes a great play on the ball. First of all, Joe, the ball is overthrown.
He's trying to get the ball to Kevin Turner down the middle, down the middle, and to Freddie Solomon. Lassiter does a nice job of making a play on it.
It appears for all the world like both of these teams are trying to hand it to the other, and neither one of them wants it so far. Plummer, another short set. Metcalf, I don't know if he held on to it or not. They're going to rule it's a catch at the 39. Clock is running, still all of their timeouts. Plummer throws complete near midfield. That time he threw a strike to Rob Moore. And will use a timeout. That was a gain of 11.
You know something, Joe? This young man in this first half of football has not thrown the ball in the middle of the field. He has not thrown one ball in the middle of the field.
And almost every throw has been to the right.
Exactly, and the middle's open.
Paul, that is the longest Arizona offensive play of the game, 11 yards.
That's the point. I think sooner or later they've got to push the ball up the field. And the thing about Jake Plummer is he is setting up so quick. You see him in the pocket just waiting and waiting and waiting, and the defensive backs are zoning in on him.
Here's the comparison between them so far. The percentages aren't too bad, but the yards, nothing there at all, and Hoying with the 1 interception.
Percentages, in my opinion, don't mean anything when you've got yardages of 71 and 53 yards.
Well, on the West Coast, you should be up around 60, 65 anyway.
After 3 passes.
Plummer another short set. Metcalf in the flat has it at the 45.
This is going to be a big lift for Arizona because this is the first time in this half that they've been in Philadelphia's territory.
It'll be a bigger lift if they get close and can get something out of it. Yeah. Mark Thiesmann looks like he's got Jake Plummer in a little bit of a rhythm right now.
.38 seconds to go in the half. In the flat centers, gets out of bounds near the sticks at the 41. Shoved out by Al Harris. And all at once, the Cardinals offense coming alive. Nedney hoping they get within field goal range.
Lomas Brown, number 75, on Hugh Douglas, number 53. Watch this. That's what Lomas Brown told us yesterday. He said, all I want to do is I want to get him in close. I want to hand fight him. I want to get my hands on him. And there was a classic example of him getting his hands on Hugh Douglas's shoulder pads underneath where they don't call it.
Lean on him and feel him.
They'll bring the sticks in from across the other side to measure for the first down. And they've got it. 33 seconds to go in the half.
You have 2 timeouts remaining. You still have time to throw the ball down the middle of the field.
You're absolutely right. I couldn't agree with you more. And that's the area that most teams will try not to defend. They'll let a linebacker do it, and they'll run the safeties out to cover the wide receivers.
We asked Hugh Douglas about the heat. He says, hey, it just gets hot. You keep playing. Heat's heat. Plummer to the shotgun. They show blitz, and here they come. Plummer unloads from Metcalf. Knocked away at the last moment. Allen Rossum got there, stuck the hand in between Metcalf's and saved it.
What happens is this ball winds up hitting Rossum in the head. It drops down right inside. But look at the room he's got. He's 10 yards off the ball. If this ball is thrown up the field, this ball is a little underthrown. Look at the distance. Watch this. Watch his head come right in. Up left arm. Looked like it hit his head. Winds up being his left arm. That ball was a bit underthrown.
Allen Rossum sitting on those routes. That time they nearly burned him. Plummer, quick 3-step drop, and Moore can't hold this one. Moore is a guy who led the NFL in yardage a year ago. 1,584 yards receiving. He hasn't been too sharp tonight.
Well, it's 3rd down now. What I'm thinking, with 23 seconds to go in the half, I would take the time to try and pick up a first down with both plays, 3rd and 4th down. Let the clock run down enough so the Eagles don't have much time on the other end if they get it back.
Well, the Cardinals are better on 3rd and long, but 1 out of 7 won't get it done. Plummer dumps it short. The catch made by Sanders at the 34. Be about a 51-yard field goal from here. They'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go. Nedney certainly has the leg to kick a long one. The wind swirling here in Sun Devil Stadium, and it looks from his angle like it would be slightly against him.
If this was me, I would try and go for it on 4th down. I would try and pick up a few more yards, get the first down, because I do have the 1 timeout left. I can use it, get a little bit better field position, try and field goal, and then kick it. Because if you, right now with 12 seconds to go, if you miss it, you got to figure the Eagles can't go 65 and get any shot at points. That's percentages.
Well, my feeling would be right now, both of these teams are so desperate for points. You've got a chance maybe to get 3, so why not give it a shot?
They're going to give it a shot. They're going to kick a field goal right now.
They have gone 47 straight games without a field goal of 50 yards, the second longest current drought in the NFL. And only the Eagles have a worse record. 6 years ago tonight for the Eagles.
I was down on the field during kick warm-ups earlier. Nedney actually was kicking them 52 yards and making them.
This will be from 52 into a slight breeze. He's going to have to get all of it. He got more than all of it, but he hooked it. That had plenty of distance. Would have been good from 56 or 57, but he pulled it.
Another thing, just for a player, the holder, who's the punter, the pull the calf muscle, and the people are booing him. Please, he's the holder. They don't need another holder. He's the guy they wanted in there. Watch this ball down. The laces are perfect. Nedney hits it, all of it, but just pulls it.
He just crushed it and barely hooked it. And Jake Plummer, with his best drive, sees it come up empty. Now with 7 seconds to go, the Eagles will take over, and they send 3 wide receivers to the near side. And Hoying is going to throw under pressure. Dumps it off to Staley. Staley gets out of bounds in Eagle territory at the 46. But the clock has run out. That's the end of the first half with a score. The Eagles nothing, the Cardinals nothing. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Mercedes-Benz halftime report.
Scoreless. Must be the heat.
Team got to score in the first half. Joe Nedney, a 52-yard field goal, hooked it to the right. We're deadlocked at 0.
It's your last chance to catch these blazing tales of suspense. Howie Long burns up the screen. In this hot action.
Gotta shit.
That was about the only explosion we've had tonight. The sun setting over the desert, and the sun has set over both offenses. Eagles and the Cardinals, nothing after one half of play here at Sun Devil Stadium. Let's take a look at the first half stats. Neither team able to run the ball at all. A total of 64 yards between them. Total yards just over 200 yards for 2 ball clubs. Both had struggled offensively coming in. Both continue to struggle tonight.
Joe, go down the bottom. 3rd down conversions. 1 of 8 and 3 of 9.
Well, the thing is, too, again, it is 2 offensive coordinators trying to protect young quarterbacks. Irving Fryer has not caught a ball tonight. And really, he's the kind of guy that they have to get involved in this game. If the Philadelphia Eagles are going to get something going on offense, they've got to include Irving Fryer in it.
There was you related something with Monk to him like yesterday.
Well, I know when I had Art Monk as my wide receiver, I wanted to try and get him into the game early to make him feel a part of it. I tried to do it in the second half as well. Obviously, they didn't do it in the first half, but if you want a big play guy around for an entire half, you get the ball to him early. Let him feel like he can do something.
One of the real bright spots for Philadelphia, the play of rookie left tackle Trey Thomas, Paul.
Oh, Trey Thomas has just been outstanding. Look at this on Simeon Rice. Here's Thomas. Now remember, Thomas is a rookie. Look at his feet. Watch his feet and his hands. Now the only sack that Simeon Rice gets is where he beats a back and gets to the quarterback. He did not beat Trey Thomas. I am really impressed with this guy. You know, it's really funny talking to him. I said, all right, what has been the hardest thing for you to learn as a rookie? I said, I asked all the rookies that. He said, nothing.
Yeah.
Well, 1 sack head-to-head with Rice, 25 of 39 plays. 5 times he's gotten pressure on the quarterback and 1 hit. But you're going to get a lot of pressure, Joe, aren't you, with those 3- and 5-step drops?
If they push it up the middle, you will, Mike. The thing is, you may get the ball out quick, but the end result of that is the amount of yards that we see passing from both teams in this first half.
I think right now either coach would give a year off their career for a field goal. Rossum and Walker are deep, and Nedney crushes it to the back of the end line. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcots. Solomon.
Yeah, Mike, talked to Bill Musgrave, the newest member of the offensive assistant for the Eagles, and he says their problem is picking up the blitz on third down. He said they're going to have to go to 7-man protections, and here in the second half, they would like to go to the side of Tom Knight and try to avoid going over to the side of Aeneas Williams. And, Mike, I don't know what it sounds like to you, but it sounds like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, you're not going to make a living throwing against Aeneas Williams, who has more interceptions in the 90s than any player in the NFL. And Dana Bible trying to get something going offensively for his ball club. Hoying is going to change the play. The play clock was at 4, so they didn't stop it for that.
No, the Arizona Cardinals called timeout. They were in a defensive mismatch, and they didn't want to take a chance.
This is a 30-second timeout.
That was Aeneas. Aeneas Williams is the guy that called the timeout.
So they used their first timeout 5 seconds into the second half. That may be something of a record.
People can't fool you that bad that early in a half.
Aeneas, when he spreads out, Joe, and the offense is spread out, he's looking at now. He sees Irving Fryer in front of him. He's counting down the line and looks. He says, no, we don't want to be here. Let's get out of this.
Well, I tell you what, he's been a Pro Bowl starter 4 years in a row. If he saw something and he thought was that grave, I'll go with it.
Yeah, I think that teams just use up timeouts sometimes just too quickly. In general, in the league, I see a lot of teams doing it, not just this particular instance.
Deuce Staley, room to run this time. Staley with the longest run of the night up to the 38-yard line. Got a pretty good block downfield from Jeff Graham. Pat Tillman and McKinnon made the tackle.
They might have been better off leaving that other defense on.
Trey Thomas, we talked about him. We showed you his package. We showed you his footwork. #1 draft choice. Watch this block. He sets up, and then
it grabs him. You're right.
I know. That is holding, folks. I'm going to tell you right now. That is holding. It wasn't called.
They learn well in Tallahassee.
Boy, do they ever.
Little spark from the Eagles. Hoying to throw. Right down the middle, and they got it to Irving Fryer.
That was the same formation that the Eagles opened the half with that Aeneas Williams called the timeout for. It's given problems to Arizona. They don't know who to match up with. You wind up with Tommy Bennett on Irving Fryer, and that is a mismatch. Fryer goes right down the middle. That's the same formation they opened the half with. That was the problem.
Irving Fryer in his 15th year, the oldest receiver in the NFL, 16 days older than Jerry Rice. Both continue to perform at a brilliant level. Staley trying to pick his way for yardage. Just back to the line of scrimmage where Wadsworth, the rookie, and McKinnon make the tackle.
You get 3 points on the board in this game.
Huge.
It's big. It's really big. And that's why this drive for the Eagles is so critical on offense to get some kind of points. Also for Arizona on defense, they got to come up big right now.
If you joined us late, the Cardinals missed a long field goal. The Eagles could have tried one from 44 and missed one. Look at this series. 28 series, 1 touchdown. Four-man rush. Hoying airs it out. Contact. Graham goes down. No whistle. There is a flag back at the line, however. And the preliminary...
Offside, 90 defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards, repeat second down.
That's the rookie Wadsworth.
Andre Wadsworth gets in this stance, and he's down. Well, we see him coming off the line. He has already been offside. You see the flag go by, and they almost completed this pass for a touchdown.
Second and 5. Hoying rolls this time and throws complete. Fryer first down out of bounds at the 18. And Joe, you said you want to get him off to a good start. There's no telling how many balls he can catch once he gets on a roll.
Bobby Hoying has thrown 3 balls. 2 have gone to Irving Fryer. But what I really like here is Bobby Hoying is being moved. He's on a sprint out. This is just a quick out, up the field and out on Knight. Breaks to the sidelines, turns and goes. What Dana Bible is doing now is he's moving Bobby Hoying. He saw him under pressure through blitzes in the first half. Now he wants to give him a target that has to be moving.
And Tom Knight is the guy that's hurt, and that's why there's a...
J.B. Brown listed behind him. Picked him up in a trade this year, the veteran cornerback out of the University of Maryland. Knight had missed all preseason work with a shoulder injury. They picked on him a little bit last year because Aeneas Williams is on the other side, and that's a smart thing to do. Came on at the end of last season. They expect big things from Knight, and there's J.B. Brown coming in to take that spot.
Mike, with a guy like J.B. Brown who's had 9 years of experience, it's not like coming in with a rookie, say what the Eagles are faced with on their defense. This is a guy who's been around and he's seen it. I wouldn't necessarily say that Bobby Hoying will say, okay, they got a new guy out there, let's go after him.
1st and 10 for Philadelphia, their best drive of the night. Hoying can run. Flag is down, so's Hoying. The ball's loose. The Eagles may have gotten it back at the 4.
It will make no difference because there's holding and it's coming back. It will make a difference if Phoenix gets the ball.
Yes, it would. And Phoenix does have the ball. Now, if it is a hold, they can decline it and take it.
There's a hold right in the middle of the offensive line.
Holding. 71 offense. Penalties decline. 1st down, Arizona.
That's Jermaine Mayberry, the left guard who had such a tough time at tackle a year ago. They moved him to guard where they expect better things from him. And the Cardinals defense saves the big play. McKinnon knocked it loose. Took a long time for Bobby Hoying to come off the field after that hit where he lost the football.
As Bobby Hoying takes the high road, he winds up, he's all right on the ground looking for the ball, and then Ian Beckles, number 62, just sort of steamrolls him as he tries to get up. He's a bit woozy.
Big break for the Cardinals. They take over at their own 5. Plummer throwing on 1st down. A juggling catch made by Moore. And right on top of him was Al Harris, who has looked as good as any corner in the league tonight.
But I like the fact that Arizona's coming out and throwing just a little bit. I mean, you're not sitting back. You're not trying to protect it and just run 2 and then punt. They have to be more aggressive.
This is the last time I'm saying this, Joseph. Throw the ball down the middle of the field.
Well, they've thrown the ball 26 times. That was only their 10th run as Adrian Morrell was stopped.
Take a look at Jake Plummer's pass chart. You'll notice 3 balls over 15 out of 26. I think you really have to challenge the defense to get them back off. It helps the running game as well as the passing game. The safeties aren't as inclined to be up in run support if they're back worrying a little bit more about the deep pass.
Well, the run game could use some help, only averaging 78 yards a game. They go with 3 wide receivers on this set. Plummer throws to Moore. 1st down, shakes the tackle, gets out across the 20. Now, both offenses seem to have a little more fire in them as we go into the 2nd half.
They're playing with a sense of urgency. They're getting out of the huddle, getting to the line of scrimmage.
We talked about Allen Rossum, the 1st-year man. Look at him on the outside. Look at the route that Rob Moore has. And remember yesterday we talked to Rob Moore. I said, what do you think of the corners laying off? He said, I know they're going to throw me the ball.
Morrell back in at running back. Draw play, Adrian Morrell. Stopped shy of the 25-yard line. Rodney Peete stretching on the sideline just in case. He was the starter until 2 years ago when he hurt his knee. They went with Ty Detmer, then back to Peete. And now Hoying celebrating his 26th birthday, although if you asked him right now, what day is it, I doubt if he could tell you. Morrell. 1st down at the 34. Adrian Morrell is a quality running back. 2,000-yard seasons with the Jets. And if that offensive line can give him a gap, he can run it.
But you also have to have some blocking by the fullback. Centers is a dangerous person with the ball, but watch him without the ball. Number 37. He's the lead blocker for Morrell. Bam! Inside. Is that a good block? Shoulder squared up. Try, there's a hole.
Plummer looks the other way and throws incomplete over the head of Frank Sanders. We talked about the expectation of a quarterback. What you don't want to see is people get down on him so early. This is a learning process, Joe. They always talk about let him sit on the bench for 3 years. These guys don't have that luxury.
It used to be that way. You're right, Mike. Now, with the investment that you have in them from a financial standpoint, you're looking for a pound of flesh, and you want to sell tickets, and they have to play.
Morrell on the toss. Picked up almost 8.
You know what I liked yesterday? We were talking to Plummer, and a question was asked, were you glad to be drafted here in Phoenix, playing here, or would you have rather gone somewhere else? And he said, you know, at first I thought, well, I would rather go somewhere else. He said, but then in the first game I played against Tennessee, I threw 4 interceptions, and when I came back in the game, I got a standing ovation.
That's where you know you've got a lot of fans. Plummer short set out to Moore. Moore's got the first down to the 47-yard line. Allen Rosson took him out of bounds. ESPN Sunday Night Football. Plummer trying to throw long. That's a wounded duck up for grabs. Dawkins got a hand on it, and the save was made by Moore. He turned defensive back.
Well, Jake Plummer decides that he wants to hesitate. He's done that a lot. He's double clutching. You got to go back. He starts that ball. Now, this thing here, you snap your wrist in, pull. That is, that thing's taking, it's coming down like a duck that's been shot. Good play by Rob Moore, by the way, going up and trying to make a play on the ball.
I'm not going duck hunting with you. Plummer, 3-step drop. This is Gedney to the 45. He's about 2.5 yards shy of a first down.
Jake Plummer is much more effective when he gets back and throws the football. There are times when he gets back and he's just not sure, and he's throwing it behind the receiver through the defensive back's hands.
Wasn't it interesting when Thiesmann wanted him to run the 2-minute offense, and he said, no, I'll let you get in this later, but
not yet.
No, I don't want to. I mean, that's incredible when a quarterback turns it down.
11th play of this drive coming. That was tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete, and that'll bring up a punting situation as Brandon Whiting, the rookie, got a hand on it. The crowd, of course, wants him to go for it, and in a 0-0 tie at midfield, you're not going to do that. At least Vince Tobin saw some spark from his offense, something that had been missing all night. Freddie Solomon will go back to the 10. He's the guy they use when they expect to have a fair catch. Solomon makes it at the 14-yard line. A punt of 30. We have 7:34 to go, third quarter. Neither team on the board. Football brought to you by Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. By Intel, makers of the amazing Pentium 2 processor. By Coors Light, it's frost brewed to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. By AT&T, it's all within your reach. And by DirecTV, what are you looking at? Right now, Bobby Hoying is seeing stars, and Rodney Peete has come in at quarterback. The veteran back up in his 10th NFL season. Peete to throw on first down into double coverage. Graham was wrapped up. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Mike, I'm told that Bobby Hoying has a sore back and a sore neck. We were also told that he was going to go back into the game. Right now, Rodney Peete is in. They're still trying to loosen him up and see if he can indeed get back into this ball game. Mike?
All right, Solomon, thanks. Peete, of course, was a backup in Dallas, the starter with the Eagles in 95 and then 96 before he injured a knee. Deuce Staley on the draw. And they caught the Cardinal defensive line moving around. I don't think people were where they were supposed to be.
Simeon Rice wound up standing up like a middle linebacker. It looked like they had an idea where the Eagles were going to run, but the Eagles did a good job of blocking it. Look at, that's 97 standing up. That's the defensive end. They've got a lot of people over, but look at the hole it's created. Kevin Turner kicks out, and Deuce finds a hole.
12 carries, 60 yards for Deuce Staley. Pete with a short set, and he's tagged back at the 24. Eric Swan.
Boy, I tell you, Rodney Peete steps up and never sees Swan coming from his right. Eric Swan, number 98. I mean, look at this guy. He's right in the center of your screen. Look at this. Pete never sees him, never has a chance.
See, I don't blame Ian Beckles at all, and I'll tell you why. It's a short set. Rodney's got to get rid of the ball. That's a sack that goes on the quarterback's head.
2nd and 12. Staley, no place to run. McKinnon wraps him up. Kid out of North Alabama who won the Harlan Hill Trophy, which is the Division II equivalent of the Heisman, as a middle linebacker.
We were talking about the youth of this Arizona defense. Rice at 3 years, Smith at 2, McKinnon at 3, Wadsworth, the #1 pick this year. They're young up front.
It's fast.
3rd and 11. Here comes the blitz. They don't get there, and Pete with time throws complete for a first down to the 39, Irving Fryer.
That ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage and just hangs in the air forever, and Irving Fryer does a terrific job of coming back to it. Simeon Rice, number 97, comes down low. He's pushing, he gets inside of Thomas. Now he gets his hands up, and that ball just winds up, look at that, ticks off his left wrist. Fryer doing a terrific job staying with it.
Big first down for the Eagles to get deep out of their own territory. Deuce Staley trying to get outside. Great close by Tommy Bennett, the strong safety. That looked like that play would go.
Well, that's what the safety is supposed to do. If everyone else takes a man, and Tommy Bennett is the safety number 28, he's the strong safety coming up. He's the guy that has to make the play, and he filled the hole.
Playing defense is all about angles, and he had a great pursuit angle.
And attitude.
And talent.
We don't have time to list them all, folks. Just stay tuned. Pete, short set, nice throw to midfield. That's going to be another first down, and a strike to Freddie Solomon. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Thank you, Mike. The crowd here at Sun Devil Stadium has come alive. Rodney Peete has had to signal over to the coaches to turn up the volume on the headset so he can hear the play, so the crowd is beginning to become a factor in this ball game. Mike?
Solomon, only about 38,000 here tonight. That's the smallest opening day crowd in Arizona Cardinal history, but you're right. They're making a racket right now. Charlie Garner checks in for the Eagles. Garner off the right side, picks up about 3.
The problem with Rodney Peete playing for the Arizona Cardinals is you practiced all week against Bobby Hoying. You worked on a lot of different blitz packages because he was so young. Now all of a sudden you've got to go back and change your philosophy because you've got a veteran that you just don't want to take a chance going after. You'll notice the productivity of this offense with Rodney at the helm now. Dave McGinnis has got to rethink how he wants to attack Rodney Peete.
And Pete, of course, with his experience, a lot more sure of where he wants to go with the ball when he's throwing it. Pete over the middle, threw it the wrong way. Aeneas Williams. That would be the easiest interception he may have ever had. 38 picks in the 90s. 39 was a gift, and he couldn't hold it.
Aeneas Williams said he wants to get physical with Irving Fryer. He plays him now. manages to read him, outthink him. He reads the route. Again, Rodney Peete not having a chance to work much with Irving Fryar. He throws the corner outside. Aeneas just watches it fall through.
You just know what's going through his mind as that ball's coming down. I got it, I got it, I got it.
No, I don't.
No, I don't.
3rd and 7. Here comes the blitz. Peete hangs in there and throws complete for a first down to Russell Copeland. J.B. Brown on the coverage. The snap on the passes, the sureness of the setup, really a difference between Hoying and Peete right now.
Well, he knows where he wants to go with the football. Bobby Hoying continued as a young guy to learn. Here he is setting up. It's a good set. Good job by that offensive line, giving him time. Ball is towards the outside. JB doesn't have a chance to make a play on it.
From the shadow of their own goal line, the Eagles with an impressive drive. Garner cuts it outside. And another great play by Tom Knight, who's back in the ball game, showed you some speed.
And a huge mistake by Charlie Garner. He's going to be called for face mask again on the defender. He gets his hand up. He should take it down. He keeps it on there for the entire run out of bounds.
Well, I'll tell you, I just saw some great closing speed by the guy, Tom Knight, number 22.
Going to be a personal foul against the Eagles. Hands to the face mask.
I think this should be a 15-yarder because he, like you said, Joe, he never took his hand down.
I think that's what the officials' discussion is right now.
Now, there's a difference between a stiff arm and when you get your hand up in the mask.
There it is. It's up there. 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 He never takes it down. Never. Never. Now he's grabbing it. Now he pulls him down. That's a 15-yard penalty. Personal foul.
You bet. Good call.
Personal foul, 15-yard face mask. Number 30, offense. 15 yards. Repeat first down.
Let me tell you, that's an excellent job by an officiating crew to talk it over from what they saw.
Yeah!
And a huge penalty called against Garner because it takes them back across midfield in a game where 3 points may be the winner. And now Peete is going to have to go on a long play, 1st and 25. They blitz. Staley drops the one-man screen. Coming up next on SportsCenter, Kenny Mayne and Dan Patrick will be along, catch you up on the day in sports, have a couple of questions for you. Is the Ripken streak over? Was Maguire robbed? Will we have NFL highlights? You betcha. Followed by NFL primetime.
Maguire was robbed.
Wasn't he ever? Well, it was his own fault. He didn't hit it 500 feet. Like all the rest of them. 2nd and 25. 3-man rush this time, and Peete throws complete to the Cardinal 37-yard line. Solomon really having a big night for the Eagles. He and Russell Copeland, the backup wide receivers, are the guys that have done so much damage.
All right, we're going to see Trey Thomas on Rice again, and watch the protection. And every time that the Phoenix Cardinals come with 3 or 4-man rush, they don't even get close to the quarterback. Trey Thomas on Rice just pushes him out of the way, enables Peete to step up and make the throw.
Big play here, 3rd and 10. Over the middle, caught by Solomon. It's a first down at the 20. Freddie Solomon out of South Carolina State, who was cut last year, then brought back because of injury. He said that was a wake-up call for him. And, boy, he's awake tonight.
Well, here again, there's a 4-man rush instead of a 3-man rush. But look at the blocking of the offensive line, Joe. These guys don't get close.
And Freddie Solomon does a terrific job of getting off the ball. He gets into the soft spot. Now he works back. Watch the catch. Back over his shoulder, and then hangs on to it as he's bounced around.
15th play of this drive. Solomon with 3 catches in the second half, 42 yards. Into the end zone, incomplete, intended for Graham.
I want you to notice the difference in this Eagle offense. We talked about the yards passing in the first half with Bobby Hoying. 71 yards. Really paltry numbers, but he was doing what he was supposed to do. Now Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator with Rodney Peete in there, is throwing the ball down the field more and putting pressure on that Arizona secondary. This whole game has changed because of one guy going in it.
Well, let me ask you this then, because when Hoying was in, you said you would blitz all the time. With Peete in there now, would you blitz as much?
Last game scoreless after 3 quarters. We have to go back to 87, the Giants and the Bills. That was a replacement game. Great hustle there all the way down to the 10 went Deuce Staley.
The answer to your question, Paul, is if I got him in 3rd and long, absolutely.
Same thing.
Absolutely.
Don't change your defensive game plan.
It's the only way you can get pressure on him.
And that may be the last play of the 3rd quarter. They will be facing a 2nd and 2 on the most impressive drive of the night for the Eagles in a game that both these clubs desperately need to win if they entertain any thoughts of having a good season. Nobody wants to go 0-3. 0-0 at the end of 3. These overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam high above Sun Devil Stadium for ESPN's Sunday Night Football. Starting to cool off a little bit. Just at the same time, the Eagles' offense is heating up. 17th play of the drive coming. They've already taken 7.5 minutes off the clock. And now the officials are going to stop it before the snap on 3rd and 2. First time we have gone scoreless in the NFL since 1987 through 3 quarters. Staley behind Turner. Nothing doing. Stoned at the 12-yard line. Swan was in there, got a lot of help. Patrick Sapp was also there, and here comes the field goal unit.
That's a huge play by the defense. Eric Swan in particular. He comes in again. It's underneath low and fire in. Gets down, just uses his brute strength. Plays off Ian Beckles and winds up making the tackle. He's made 2 huge stops in short yardage.
Boniol, who hasn't missed in 62 consecutive tries inside 35, will put this up from 29. And got it. The most accurate kicker in the NFL puts the Eagles on top. 3-0 here in the desert. Eagles 3-0 with 14:20 to go in the ball game. The Eagles, who are averaging 6 points a game, have 3. The Cardinals averaging 12 points a game, 0.
Right on target.
Metcalf drops deep with Pittman. Metcalf from the 7. Cut down at the 19. What a tackle by Clarence Love. We've got a timeout. 3-0 Eagles. Edition. Tomorrow's headlines tonight. 6 teams now 3-0 in the NFL. 5 have fallen to 0-3. The Chargers, Ryan Leaf really had an awful day. 1 out of 15, 2 picks, and 4 fumbles. Speaking of quarterbacks, now that Rodney Peete has come into the ballgame, driven his team down the field for a score, does he become the local fan favorite? Does he start at quarterback? Do you bench Hoying?
No, I don't think you bench Hoying. I think Hoying is going through a growing process. Rodney is doing what he's supposed to do as a backup quarterback. Come in when he's needed.
And Hoying wouldn't be off the field if he weren't kicked in the head by his own man. So, I mean, it's really not a question of that. Hoying is the quarterback of the future. He's the guy.
And you would have to sympathize with Ryan Leaf playing in Arrowhead, wouldn't you?
I'd sympathize with any young quarterback going up against the Kansas City defense. I mean, they're just going to put pressure on him. I got a kick out of the fact that he said, I don't know what the big deal is going in here to Arrowhead and all the noise. I think he got an idea what the big deal is all about.
He knows now.
He has an understanding of what it's all about.
Yeah, you get 1 out of 15 for 4 yards.
4 fumbles?
That's not a bad day.
There is Bobby Hoying, who took a shot to the head from his own player when he was trying to run with the ball. Morrell directing traffic, gets a block downfield. Adrian Morrell to midfield. Nice block from Johnny McWilliams, his tight end, a gain of 28.
Or you see what the experience is like when you get into the open field, because when Adrian Morrell gets there, now he waits and helps his blockers block for him. Morrell is supposed to go to the right. He cuts back to the left-hand side. But watch when he gets out into space. Now he waits for a second. All right, you take him. I'll set it up for you. Take that block right there. Take as much as you can get.
Plummer, short set, goes to Gedney. Another solid tackle by Brian Dawkins, and then over the bench. Did they throw a flag? They did.
I think they might have. Brian Dawkins, either, I'm sure it was unintentional, but he was holding on to Gedney for a long time, and they both went towards the bench.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 20, late hit out of bounds, 15 yards, first down Arizona.
He latches on to him, and now he's riding him out of bounds. Now, let him go. Let him go. Let him go. And then he pushes him. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. There's no question.
Yeah, it's the end of this thing now, because he's going to get hit in the back by his own man when he's pushed out of bounds, but he doesn't let go. He stays, and then the last little throw, Joe, you're absolutely right.
That's a good call by the official.
Big play for the Cardinals as they have it at the Eagle 32. Morrell to the 30. He was drafted in the 93 class, and from that class, only Jerome Bettis and Natron Means have gained more yards as a running back in the NFL.
Gain of 2 yards. Second down 8.
Spotted at the 30. 2nd and 8. Metcalf in as a wide receiver to the right. This time nowhere to go from Morrell. Wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. William Thomas from the right side.
Tackle by number 51, William Thomas.
You know, it's all right to run the ball on first down, but when you don't get anything on first down, and then you run it again on second down, you don't get anything. Now you're putting a young quarterback in a tough position. Now,
wait a minute. Weren't you the same guy?
I'm saying run the ball when it's there.
I got a witness. Weren't you the same guy that said, hey, look, I don't know why they're not running the football. They're running the football.
They did. But I said on first down, you don't get anything. That second, you don't get anything.
He's a chameleon. 3rd and 8. Plummer tipped and almost intercepted. Mike Caldwell, the inside linebacker, got a hand on it. Dawkins thought he had a pick.
Jake Plummer has been more lucky than anything tonight. This was another one that should have been picked off. He's trying to get it into Metcalf, sitting down in the middle. You see the linebacker come over and knock it away. I mean, he's just trying to hammer it in there. Mike Caldwell had a clean shot at it.
Nedney comes on. He missed from 52. This will be from 47. He had plenty of leg, but he hooked the first one. This one he knocks through. The Cardinals get on the board with 12:15 to go in the game. We're tied at 3. Had to say about the importance, the criticalness of winning tonight.
It's vital for our ball club. You know, right now we need a win. This is a division game. You know, I look at our division like we talked earlier. This is a division that's in disarray a little bit, and this win tonight is big for our football team.
Disarray is a very kind way to put it. Nobody over 500. Dallas and the Giants play tomorrow night on Monday Night Football. The loser of this one will join the Redskins at 0-3. And at 1-2, you're only one game out of first place.
And no quarterback in the division with more than, what, 13 or 14 games of starting experience.
Ray Rhodes trying to turn it around with a difficult couple of weeks coming up on his schedule. He needs this win badly. And Bobby Hoying with the ice pack on his neck, hurt his back. Nedney to kick to Rossum and Walker. Rossum from the goal line. Has a gap. Rossum across the 30, almost to the 33. Kwame Lassiter made the tackle. 12:03 to go from Tempe, Arizona. 3-3 Eagles and Cards. To you by Isuzu, builders of adventure machines. Isuzu, go farther. By Courtyard, by Marriott, the hotel designed by business travelers. By Circuit City, answers in every department, low prices all over the store. By Visa, the official card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be. And by Lee Dungarees, can't bust them. Eagles take over, spotted at the 32, and Deuce Staley is drilled by Eric Swan.
You know that this was absolutely no contest whatsoever. Eric Swan almost took the handoff.
Eric Swan, he's just going to shoot the gap. He goes flying through. He just gets a great jump, goes right between what was supposed to be a double team by the guard and center, and it was a ole.
When he wants to be the most dominant lineman in the league, he can be just that. Pete scrambling, throws on the run right in the hands of Jeff Graham, and he dropped it. That's 4 or 5 they dropped tonight.
It's a nice job by Rodney Peete stepping up and making a play also. Here's that third down situation you were talking about before, Paul.
I'm going to call it.
With a Bobby Hoying in there, you go after him without thinking about it. I still think you got to do the same thing to Rodney Peete.
It's a 3rd and 16 back at the 26. The crowd trying to get back in it.
Here they come.
Do a good job of picking it up. They had the first down. Graham gave ground and then appeared to get it again.
Good job by the offensive line picking up the stunts. Especially the tackles. They did an excellent job picking up the outside rushman. They slide around. Look at everybody. Everybody's got somebody. And then Cooper does a nice job of pushing Swan by, allowing Rodney to get the ball out.
You know, we've talked about that Eagle offensive line and the problems they had. They drafted Trey Thomas at left tackle. He is the 8th left tackle they've had in the 90s. It looked like they finally found a keeper. They have used 7 first-round picks in 13 years on offensive linemen, and almost none of them have panned out.
Well, this guy's playing like he's a 5-year veteran.
Pete sidearms it and completes for short yardage to Fryer.
Eagle offense looks like a different offense under Rodney Peete than it did with Bobby Hoying. First one out, he gets a little bit lucky. Ball gets knocked in the air by Simeon Rice. Catch. Now he steps up in the pocket on a 1st and 25. Hits the big play. Look at him look to the left. Then he comes back to the right and gets the ball out in rhythm. He is seeing the entire field where the younger quarterbacks are more focused in one area.
2nd and 5 for the Eagles in their last 3 drives. Almost 50% more yardage than they had total in their first 7. Here comes the blitz. No chance for Pete. Lost the ball. Picked up by the Cardinals. Rodney Peete had no chance. Simeon Rice recovered the fumble. Ronald McKinnon, the middle linebacker, was the free runner.
One thing as a linebacker, when you're blitzing, you have to time it absolutely perfectly. And on this play, Ronald McKinnon times it perfectly. There is no chance for the center to get to him. He gets to Rodney Peete. He knocks the ball out, and Simeon Rice picks it up.
Rodney not having a chance to play a lot, tries to make a play with it right here, and he does a terrific job of poking it out.
Huge break for the Cardinals. They take over deep in Philadelphia territory. Morrell running hard inside the 15 to about the 14.
You can't play here for just a field goal. You have to be aggressive with your offensive calls, and I think defensively you have to do the same thing. There goes Rodney sitting down, taking a look and say, hey, you know, if it's not blocked, there's nothing I can do, but there is one thing you can do, and that's protect the ball.
2nd and 6 for Jake Plummer and the Cardinals. Morrell shakes the tackle, gets down to the 6, first down. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Mike, right now, right cornerback Al Harris is out of the game. They're stretching out his hamstrings right now. Clarence Love has replaced him, but Al Harris has been playing very well in this ball game. They may miss him here.
All right, Solomon, thanks. 15 carries, 87 yards for Adrian Morrell.
Now you look for the matchup of Rob Moore on possibly Allen Rossum, the smallest of the defensive backs.
Oh, no. Movement up front, and it looked like Chris Thiesmann, the left guard, got the early start. Tough situation for an offensive lineman to make a mistake.
Prior to the snap, ball start. 67 offense. 5 yards, repeat first down.
It would be different, Joe, if you were away, but you're not away. You're at home. It's quiet here. You've got to know the snap count.
The other thing is, too, it would also be devastating if it was anything other than 1st and 10. It doesn't take you out of field goal range. It just makes it a little bit longer, 11 yards now.
And that was the first offensive penalty against the Arizona Cardinals. Plummer against the blitz. To centers in the flat. What a solid saving tackle out there by Zordich.
You know, we have seen it a number of times tonight where backs are in space with a defensive back and the defensive backs making the plays.
I think a lot of that has to do with Emmett Thomas's philosophy as the defensive coordinator of the Eagles. If you're going to like to bring people, your defensive backs have to be good tacklers.
The Eagles defense trying to limit this to a field goal. The toss to Adrian Morrell. Trying to get outside, cut down at the 8-yard line. Solid tackle by William Thomas, and obviously the Cardinals were playing for the field goal.
Well, it's, you know, when you look at it, I think now is where you're going to see your matchup. Rob Moore matched up outside.
I think Mark Trestman's got to take a shot in the end zone. You're close enough now, even if Jake takes a sack. What Mark would probably say to him is, Jake, look, just be real sure you see where you want to put the ball.
Plummer throws, touchdown. The tight end, Johnny McWilliams.
That was Jake Plummer being Jake Plummer. That's what the Arizona Cardinals are looking for. It's a play fake. He's one-on-one with the linebacker. He jukes him a little bit, then sets and fires the ball. That is something that Jake Plummer has done in this stadium time and time again.
Plummer with his 2nd touchdown pass of the year. McWilliams with his first catch in the end zone. Nedney for the point after. And the Cardinals with 7:19 to go in the game finally get a touchdown. Jake the Snake Plummer to his tight end out of USC, Johnny McWilliams. Three Cardinals, McKinnon on your right. He is the middle linebacker who caused Rodney Peete to fumble the football on the blitz that set up the touchdown drive. 10-3. This one will go out of bounds, and that's a big break for the Eagles. They'll get the ball at the 40-yard line because of that.
30 yards from the spot of the kick. First down, timeout.
So the Eagles will have great field position. 7:13 to go in the game when we come back. Next, 13 to go from the desert. The Cardinals have taken a 10-3 lead on the visiting Philadelphia Eagles, who haven't won a road game since 1996.
0-9-1.
Boy, I'll tell you, that's really difficult to do. I'd give him a 10.
Running up and down. You're a lenient judge.
Peete in the flat to Deuce Staley. He'll get 6. Pete looks very confident in there, and with his experience, you would expect him to be.
And in this situation, you got to feel good that you have a Rodney Peete running this offense. I think the thing that you have to do if you're Arizona defensively is you got to continue to try and shut them down on 1st and 10 and bring pressure.
Time becoming a factor, working its way towards 6.5 minutes. Pete with time throws behind. Jeff Graham nearly picked off. It's the NFL's best pregame show. Sunday, NFL. 3rd and 4 for the Eagles. Cardinals show blitz. Now they'll back out as Pete changes the play. Quick slant complete for a 1st down to the Cardinal 45-yard line. A strike to Freddie Solomon.
Not only did Pete change the play, but Arizona played the defense. And in doing so, they still ran the quick post inside. Everybody's bailing out now. Everybody's going back. The thing they don't do is they don't jam the wide receiver to the left. Rodney Peete backs out, makes the throw. He's got the completion.
Well, Freddie Solomon has made some big catches tonight. Pete way too high for Graham. Covered well by Tom Knight.
One of the things that really impressed me, there's been a couple of breakdowns, Joe, but mainly the offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles, they've been holding up very well. I mean, you hear all these bad things about them. They only average, what, 6 points a game, wherever it is. These guys have done a terrific job. I mean, Pete's had time to throw. Hoying had time to throw when he was in there. And there have been a couple of breakdowns, but only on blitzes.
Last year, they allowed 64 sacks, the 2nd worst in the NFL. The Cardinals were the worst. Pete with the screen. Turner, the fullback. Oh, he takes it outside. He runs for 20 yards.
You mentioned his name before, Paul. Mark Smith. What a terrific job by one man hustling. Mike, if he doesn't make this play, he's still running. This is just terrific individual effort. Rodney Peete does a nice job of bringing him in. Now watch from the right of your screen. Look at all those green shirts. And here comes Mark Smith. What a play. Great individual effort.
3rd and 5. Pete changes the play again. Another blitz. He unloads, and it looked like it's short hop to Graham. He was open on the post. And now what do you do?
I'll tell you, he was open. He had J.B. Brown beaten, and this would have been at least a 1st down. Might have been a touchdown. He never had time to get it there.
I think what you do is you punt the ball deep into the corner, put your defense out there, put it on the defense's hat to try and stop him and get the ball away from him. Give your offense a chance with some timeouts left. This is the right decision by Ray Rhodes.
Tom Hutton on to try to pooch punt it. Metcalf the single safety. Metcalf will make the fair catch to lost the ball. He muffed it. Let's see who has it. Metcalf's the only Cardinal in there covered by green jerseys.
Look at the Cardinal guys trying to pull the Eagle guys off the pile.
No signal from the officials. If Metcalf keeps this ball, he's the strongest guy of his size that ever played this game.
Well, what happens is the ball drops down right between his legs, and he falls on the ball. I was going to say the only way that the Eagles could get that ball, Joe, is if they pulled him out of there afterwards.
Dunn and Metcalf exchange pleasantries, and the Cardinals retain possession. Metcalf with the muff, got it back. Cardinals have the ball at their own 14-yard line. 4:51 left. They're trying to protect a 7-point lead. Morrell, it was run beautifully in the second half. Gets about 2.
This is where you have to be able to run the football. Remember, Paul, we were with Jimmy Johnson in the preseason, and he talked about run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. He said you have to be able to run the football when everybody knows you're going to do it, to protect a lead at the end of the game. That's what Mark Trestman has got to get his offensive line to do. Block so that they can run.
Picking up 4 yards on first down isn't bad.
20 yards more tonight than they had averaged the first 2 games and averaged all of last year, 78 yards. Quick shot to Metcalf, and he is drilled. Guess who? Al Harris. What a sensational game he's had, and he comes up limping. Timeout for the Eagles. Harris has just been exceptional at that corner.
And the thing it could be is a cramp.
That's what it is.
This is just a quick stand up and throw the ball and let Eric Metcalf be a punt returner. Now make somebody miss. Al Harris puts his hat right on his chest, nails his belly button.
First to see Mark Maguire and the Cardinals against the Astros. For those of you in Houston, St. Louis, and New York, you'll see Sammy Sosa and the Cubs. Huge play here. 3rd and 5. Plummer, naked boot, in trouble, throws complete. It's a first down for the Cardinals. The tight end, McWilliams. What a throw by Plummer.
Jake Plummer being Jake Plummer. I mean, this is what the Arizona Cardinals want to see out of this young quarterback. The Eagles have done a terrific job defending the bootlegs. They've got people there. The play fake to Morrell. He comes out. Look, pump, no, covered, pump, sets, reloads to Gedney. McWilliams, and winds up with a big first down.
You know what made this play so much for him, Joe, is when he stopped and turned. He had enough patience to get his body squared up to throw the ball.
Now they can go back to work on the clock. Morrell sprung out to the right side. Adrian Morrell doing everything he can to stay inbounds, but forced out a good block by centers and a gain of 9 for Morrell, who just went over the 100-yard mark.
You know, Morrell makes a good point. He stopped to stay inbounds, and the defense drove him out. I personally think with a play like that, once it's reviewed at home, the clock should continue to run. Watch what he does. Good, smart running. Now, he knows where the sidelines is. Watch him stop. I'm not running out of bounds. Look, I'm stopping. Hey, they pushed me out. Clock should continue to run. Of course, it didn't.
3:53 to go, 2nd and 1. Plummer, quarterback keeper, first down at the 44. There is so much pressure on Jake Plummer. First, he's the hero coming out of Arizona State. He had them within a play of a national championship. There was a huge upset over in Nebraska. Now he is being counted on to lift this franchise out of the mire of one non-winning season after another. They have a new stadium riding on their success. I mean, that's a lot of pressure for a young kid to carry.
And when you talk to him like we did yesterday, Joe, or the day before yesterday, is he's got all the confidence in the world. He's when you look at him, he looks like some guy you want to pick up a basketball game with. He doesn't look like a quarterback. Yeah. He's a typical quarterback. But when you talk to him, you understand where he is coming from.
It has been nothing but futility for this franchise. The last winning season came in '84. The last playoff appearance before that in '82. And get this one. The last playoff win, this is 2 cities removed. 1947 when they were the Chicago Cardinals. And they won the NFL championship. 1947 is a long drought. Morrell. Adrian Morrell again staying in bounds. What a great run to the 31. Joe, where's he from? West Virginia.
Oh, West Virginia.
Via Hawaii.
I'm sorry. Mike, where'd you go to school?
George Washington.
West Virginia. I knew that.
Well, Chris Thiesmann, number 67, gets out in front of this baby. I mean, this is, look at 67 and center's 37. They both get outstanding blocks, and Morrell does this, the rest of it by himself. Staying in bounds. That's really heads-up play.
Philadelphia only with 1 timeout left. Morrell behind centers. Grabbed around the ankles, brought down it to 27.
Now keep in mind the 2-minute warning will give them an additional timeout. Now their defense has got to step up and make a play. They'll probably want to try and save it if they can and move on in.
The problem for the Eagles right now, the Cardinals in field goal range.
Now you got an injured Eagle on the field, which makes the clock stop.
If this was 39 seconds later, this would cost the Eagles the remaining timeout.
But now, as a veteran quarterback, okay, you've got 25 seconds left on the clock. I'm in no hurry to break the huddle after the play is called, get up to the line of scrimmage and run a play. I bleed that thing down as far as I possibly can.
And the injured player is the veteran outside linebacker William Thomas. There is Rodney Peete, who performed so well. The one mistake has cost his ball club, the fumble.
And the one thing about Jake Plummer not being, only starting his 12th game, not being the veteran, this is where the coaching staff says to him in his ear, hey, young man, you wait. You just wait. Be patient here.
That's why I went over and visited with Mark Tresp. Jake Plummer has really done a good job getting the ball out and making plays, but the Arizona defense has done a terrific job giving them an opportunity by coming after
Jake Plummer not being, only starting his 12th game, not being the veteran. This is where the coaching staff says to him in his ear, hey, young man, you wait. You just wait. Be patient here.
That's why I went over and visited with Mark Tresp. Jake Plummer has really done a good job getting the ball out and making plays, but the Arizona defense has done a terrific job giving them an opportunity by coming after Rodney Peete. I still think the important thing with Jake here is I'm curious. I'm really curious to see when he snaps the ball. This is like I'm grading him. I'm doing a little bit of a test for him. Let's see when you snap the ball once the clock starts.
How long did it take you as a quarterback to feel comfortable with all aspects like this? I mean, this is ancillary to everything else you're doing.
Well, I didn't start till I played 6 years in the National Football League, but really about 2 years to be able to understand what I needed to do on offense and what people were trying to do to me on defense. Then you put the package together. I mean, Jake doesn't need to be in a hurry here. I give him A+.
You would be very proud of him, Joey, when he took it down to 3 seconds.
I give him an A+. I might even give him a bonus point.
That's right.
Wrapped up by Whiting, and this will take us to the 2-minute warning. The Cardinals, on paper at least, their next 4 games are winnable. They could be right back in this thing. Coming up when we're done at Sun Devil Stadium Sports Center, Kenny Mayne, Dan Patrick. The Ripken streak is over. Mark Maguire, was he robbed of number 66 after hitting 65? And all the NFL highlights, followed by prime time.
Makes you stop and think about Ripken. Is he going to retire? This is the last home game for the Orioles. Maybe he just wants to say thank you, appreciate it, and maybe that's a decision he'll make.
And we will have his press conference live after that ball game ends there in the 8th inning. Morrell cuts it outside. 15, 10, 5, touchdown. They have wanted a running back so desperately for this ball club. They traded with the Jets to get Adrian Morrell. That was a 25-yard touchdown run. Tonight, he has gone 21 carries, 144 yards.
And I'll tell you, his back there with him, Larry Center's got another excellent block to get him to the outside.
And the result of that run is the Cardinals will win their first game of the year, and the Philadelphia Eagles, with their upcoming schedule, are looking down the gun barrel of 0-5. Nedney with the point after, 17-3.
There is 2 great blocks by number 4, 84 Gedney, 87 McWilliams, and they just seal the end off, and then Centers comes in and finishes it up. Look at this on Douglas. Boom, the kick out by Thiesmann, and then around the corner they come.
And then there's the individual effort. Watch this.
Here comes Rossum to try and make a play on him. He's not going to be denied. Rossum tries to square up. Adrian Morrell says, no, I've worked too hard and too long. All he sees is the goal line.
You know, one of the other things that's so good for this Arizona team, Joe, everything we've read about is this offensive line has been so maligned through the press through the first couple of weeks, and this gives them an opportunity to pick their heads up and say, hey, look, we got a 100-yard rusher here.
I think the two things we've seen out of Arizona tonight is, number one, you talked about it, they got an offensive line and they found a running game. Secondly, Jake Plummer, once he has a chance to improvise and be an athlete and make plays, he's able to do it. He'll do it more and more as he grows more comfortable in this offense. For Bobby Hoying, next week it's a chance to reload and continue to learn.
Philadelphia Eagles have scored 15 points this season. That's 5 a game.
Mike, they really don't have any playmakers on that side of the ball to get down the field.
Rossum backs up to the goal line. And drilled as he got to the 23. Zach Walls made the tackle. We told you they were staring down the barrel of an 0-5 start after 0-3 here. Here's what they have coming. Kansas City and at Denver. Then they go back to the friendly confines of the NFC East to play the Redskins and then travel to San Diego. But 0-5 is a hole you can't dig out of, gentlemen.
I'm telling you, 0-3 is not a hole you can dig out of very easily either. Mike, the Eagles squandered some terrific scoring opportunities early in this football game. The defense created them for Ray Rhodes. The offense couldn't capitalize.
They spent the entire first half in Cardinal territory and got nothing. Pete under pressure. He goes down again, and that's Mark Smith. Last year, he had 6 sacks, was tremendous against the run. Here's the one guy you don't expect anything from. He was a 7th-round draft choice.
I think Mark Smith made the biggest play for the Cardinals in this game when he made a great tackle on Kevin Turner on a screen. Now he comes up and gets a chance to add to a sack total.
Almost picked off right through the hands of Tommy Bennett, the strong safety out of UCLA.
Tommy Bennett goes for 6. I mean, this could have been the easiest 6 of all. They're all just sitting back. The defensive linemen are teeing off. Rodney Peeton's going to step up and look at the middle of the field. You see number 28 right in the middle of your frame. Watch him. Look at the ball. Comes up. If he catches it, it's over.
I hated this time of a game because those defensive backs, those suckers just sat back there waiting for you to put it up and they go get it.
Third and 17 for Pete. He got it to Fryer up at the 35. That'll be a first down.
All right, you talk about those defensive backs waiting, Joe. How about those defensive linemen at this time of the game? Did you like that?
Well, you know, the offensive linemen really didn't. They had to get through them to get to me, so I know they didn't enjoy it. If they got to me, I didn't. I was more concerned with what was going on down the field.
Under 50 seconds to go. And Pete is sacked again. Around the ankle, Simeon Rice with his 2nd sack of the night.
I want to talk about Simeon Rice. He's been criticized a lot of not getting sacks. Since November 2nd of last year, he hadn't had one. Well, the Cardinals have not been in a situation defensively where they have been able to tee off and go after a quarterback. So you're not going to get him. And so obviously now you've got the Eagles in a vulnerable situation. You go after him.
All right, here's what Simeon Rice does with Thomas. This is the first time we've seen him. Watch him. He'll go outside, and he'll get Thomas's feet turned. And once he does that, they call him for tripping, and Simeon Rice comes back to the inside and makes the play. But I'll tell you one thing, Trey Thomas, and you talked about that position, Joe, that they've looked for a long time. This guy is legit. Number 72 is going to be at that position at left tackle for a long, long time.
Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator, told me, hey, look, our offense right now is a work in progress. I think that this offensive line has to continue to play together, and certainly it's not going to be easy for a coordinator or for Ray Rhodes, but this offense has got to hang together and grow.
45 seconds to go in the game. Knocked away from Graham. Good coverage by J.B. Brown. 15 points so far, the fewest since 1938. 1939. That's just unbelievable. 15 points in 3.
Oh, that's when you were born, man. That's unbelievable. I didn't realize how long ago that
No,
was.
he 38.
Oh, I'm sorry, 30. That's why he said 38.
Like the first one.
That's right. That's how he said it.
Pete sets in the pocket, throws over the middle. This can complete to Copeland. But the Cardinals will let him have all those they want.
It's a big effort by the Arizona Cardinals defense in the first half to keep him in the game. And then they come up with a play to help him put it away in the second.
Pete with a quick slant to Fryer into Cardinal territory at the 48. But that is going to do it. Jake Plummer and the Arizona Cardinals win their home opener and break that losing streak. The final score, Arizona 17, Philadelphia 3. Coming up next, Sports Center. Kenny Mayne and Dan Patrick with the complete wrap-up of the day in sports. For Joe Thiesmann, Paul Maguire, Solomon Wilcots, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Tempe, Arizona.